There's long been debate on what is okay to put in a kid's cartoon. And I don't mean hide it behind layers of metaphor and symbolism. I mean straight up show it. The answer isn't as straightforward as you might think. Enter Courage the Cowardly Dog. Remember that show? Yeah, it was the topic of my first Admirable animation. In that review, I said that the writers were able to do adult subjects and give them the respect that they deserve. When I said that, I showed clips of The Mask, an episode that shows misandry, domestic violence, and lesbianism, and it doesn't hide any of them. Or should I say, it barely hides them. I will say right now that this is a very serious episode. It starts with Muriel picking chicken eggs when a masked figure enters the farm. She walks up to Courage, says that all dogs are evil, and beats the shit out of him for pretty much no reason at all. Replace the word dogs for men, and you pretty much get what this episode's trying to convey. Muriel comes outside and doesn't seem to notice the vicious beating Courage just got, and invites the masked character inside for tea. When Muriel walks away, she beats him up again. This wonderful character is Kitty, and she says that she's come from the wrong side of the tracks. She says her best friend Bunny fell in love with a gangster.
He treats her like she's a slave. He's a low-down, dirty dog.
Yeah, she don't like the guy. When he found out that she tried to get Bunny away, he threatened her life. She was forced to leave her home and her best friend, and because she can't bear the truth that she'll never see her again, she wears the mask. When Eustace tells her to take it off, she trashes the table and walks away, mumbling that dogs are evil. We are then treated to a couple of scenes of Kitty beating the shit out of Courage to further hammer in the point that she thinks that all dogs are evil. We get to dinner one night, where we see that Courage is clearly afraid of Kitty. Eustace asks why Kitty is hiding under that mask, and she says that she doesn't want to face reality. When Muriel claims that we must all face reality, Kitty tells them secrets that she's been spying on, which pretty much gets them to shut up. Muriel has made a bed for Kitty in the attic, and she goes off to bed herself. Eustace and Muriel are facing their secrets before they push it out of their mind and go to sleep. Courage spies on Kitty, and Kitty pulls out a mouse toy and plays with it. Then she takes off the mask, in a rather suspenseful scene. She's a cat person! So Courage locks the door on her. You know what? Since the only other cat person he knows is cats, you know, that guy who ran the hotel full of giant spiders and tried to turn him into candy, I'll let this behavior slide. Courage rushes into Muriel and Eustace, shapeshifts a couple of times, but his accusations aren't believed.
To better understand her, try to see the world the way she sees it.
Courage thinks that she's going to try to eat them, and so he gets kicked out. Courage wonders about the mouse toy, and thinks that that's the evidence he needs to get the army involved. Why not? He locks Muriel and Eustace in their room, for safekeeping I guess, and infiltrates Kitty's room. He sneaks up to her and carefully takes her mouse toy. Then he jumps out the window and drives off in Eustace's truck, only to stop at a diner. There he examines the mouse toy.
To Kitty love Bunny?
It's recognized by the cook, and he goes further into Kitty and Bunny's backstory.
Right. Bunny's in a bad way without Kitty. These two was the sweetest gals that ever lived. But Bunny's guy, Mad Dog, he didn't like 'em being so friendly-like.
He points Courage to Mad Dog and his gang. We cut back to the farm where Muriel has woken up and is banging on the door. Apparently she has to use the bathroom really badly. And yes, this is relevant to the story. She wakes up Eustace, who can't open the door either.
Kitty was right about you. You can't fix a thing.
Oh yeah? You want some chocolate?
Yeah, let's just let them sort things out. Cut back to Courage, who has made it to the literal railroad tracks. He crosses to the wrong side of them, and sees Mad Dog drive up. He's an aggressive-looking beast, and he's got a gang of vicious-looking dogs. And he has Bunny. We cut to Kitty, who has woken up to find her mouse toy missing. She understandably freaks out about it. Once again, she's shouting that all dogs are evil, and accuses Courage of stealing it.
They're all alike. They steal what you love the most.
Yeah, And so Muriel pushes Eustace out the window. We cut to Mad Dog, talking to Bunny. He's an asshole, but not just any asshole. He's a realistic asshole. That's probably why he's one of the scariest monsters that this show has ever conceived.
I take you from a two-bit joint and make you a class act. And you want to make me second-rate? If I even smell Kitty, I'll bury the two of you. You know you're my girl. Let's go back to the way we was. You know, happy-like.
Abusive relationships really do happen like this. After, that, Bunny hooks Mad Dog's collar to a lamp and tries to run off, only to be stopped by his gang. Okay. Courage, of course, sees all of this. Back to Eustace unable to fix Kitty's door, while Kitty is freaking out. Meanwhile, Muriel finds a bobby pin and uses it to pick the lock on her door. Meanwhile, again, Courage is still eyeing in on Bunny, who has been buried in a flower pot. Okay. Courage gets her attention, but Bunny doesn't want to deal with another dog. He shows her the mouse toy to let her know that he's a friend of Kitty's. She decides to let Courage help her, so he breaks through the window, and that gets Mad Dog's attention. One of the gang members enters the room, and Courage beats him up with a shovel. Courage pulls Bunny free, and we cut back to Eustace and Muriel.
What in the world are you doing, Nan?
Stand back, Muriel. I can't open the door any other way.
I love that moment. Muriel stops him from blowing up the house by presenting him with a bobby pin, and she's apparently decided to cut back on her sweets. They enter the room to find Kitty missing. Back to Courage, who has buried Mad Dog's 2 minions. Unfortunately, they're still not out of the fire since Mad Dog himself is coming. Courage and Bunny escape out the window and try to climb down the fireplace. Mad Dog comes out, and Courage unhooks the ladder, causing them both to plummet. While running, they hear a train whistle, and we cut back to Eustace and Muriel. Normally, I would be against these constant back and forths, but when you have something as dark as our A-plot, you need a distraction as light as our B-plot. Also, the constant reds in the A-plot would get very tiring on the eyes. Most importantly though, both stories actually have a point. So yeah, the writers know what they're doing. Muriel and Eustace have made up.
That's okay, Muriel. Nobody's perfect.
And it's a very touching moment. Back to the train. Bunny and Courage are running when Mad Dog comes driving after them. Courage and Bunny are stopped at the tracks. As Mad Dog charges after them, Courage gives Bunny the toy and sends her out of the way. Of course, Mad Dog doesn't care about Courage and chases after Bunny along the tracks. Courage breaks into the car and takes the wheel, steering them onto the train tracks. Just before they hit the thing, Courage jumps out and Mad Dog ends up taken care of. Bunny comes to comfort Courage and calls him a brave dog. And it looks like Kitty was on that train.
I was wrong, Bunny. Not all dogs are bad. Now we can be best friends forever.
And the two of them ride off thanking Courage. And that was The Mask. When you treat adult situations with the seriousness and respect that they deserve, you create very unique, memorable, and heartwarming episodes. And you get my respect. If you don't treat them with the seriousness and respect that they deserve,
I can't take this kind of pressure. I must confess, one more dusty road would be just a road too long.